So the best mistake I've ever made is like speaking my mind. I was really tired and stressed, and really I didn't have time to, beat around the bush and sugarcoat it or present like the pros and cons. I just laid it out as it is, and it was pretty blunt, and it was in a meeting with upper management. So I felt horrible actually afterwards, and I couldn't sleep all night, and I went home and I was just so worried. And the next morning I got up and I was still employed. It actually helped me tremendously because people are seeking my opinion now more often, and they value it more because they know they can trust my opinion and my assessment.
I think it was at the time I did this mistake, I thought it's a mistake, but it was the biggest opportunity. I was expecting my third baby and I was proposed a new career opportunity. I took it, and at the time I thought it will be, maybe I'm doing the mistake, but eventually it was the biggest opportunity and experience that I had here.
I went back to school for advanced studies, and I remember the first day after my class got over at 10:30 p.m. sitting in my car, I was just thinking, what did I just do? Such a huge financial commitment. I have a family to take care of and a full-time job. This was a big mistake. But 4 years later, I graduated, and I can say that that has had an awesome impact on my personal life as well as on my professional life.
I often get asked what my biggest mistake has been in my career. And it's actually interesting that my biggest mistake in my career actually started back when I was deciding what my college major was going to be. I still remember very vividly sitting down at the kitchen table with my dad, explaining to him why I was going to take a general business curriculum. And I remember him looking very seriously at me and saying, why do you want to be in business? And I said, I don't know, that's what all my friends are doing. It sounds good. And he looked at me just like he always did, with no emotion, and said, no. He said, until you figure out what you really want to do, what you really want your passion to be, you're going to go with engineering. And I looked at him and I said, okay, you do know you're talking to the daughter who doesn't like math, isn't great in science, and you want engineering. So if you fast forward 4 years from that conversation, I graduated from Marquette University with a computer science degree. And I remember standing at my graduation thinking, okay, now what? Now I've got this piece of paper, now what? I really thought it was a big mistake. But I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I actually started in computer engineering at Motorola Solutions. And what turned out to be what I thought was the biggest mistake of my life turned out to be the best mistake of my life. I've worked in various different positions in Motorola Solutions. The first 14 years of my career were grounded in engineering. When I look back at what my passions were as a 15, 16, 17-year-old woman, they weren't STEM, they weren't science, it wasn't technology, it certainly wasn't engineering, and it certainly wasn't mathematics. So a lot of people ask me, well how did that work for you? To me, engineering and the STEM degrees, what it gave me was discipline and the logic to be able to succeed in life. So in closing, I encourage each and every one of you that have taken your valuable time to listen and learn, to stay true to yourselves, to continue to network, to reach out to other women, both in engineering and not. We form a global, powerful network of very talented individuals that can shape and form a new and better world.